back to Queen's Radio's 24-hour live stream of the presidential election. Now, I have taken personally a quick hit on that for the past 2 hours, and I've woken up to see that Donald Trump has won 246 and Kamala Harris is currently on 187. So Donald Trump is in the lead here.
Yes.
We've been given a few of our top headlines. So Harris behind Biden's vote share in swing state county. Supporters leave Harris watch party. Senate control of Republicans. House control shifting in favour of Republicans. All polls are now closed in County Nevada. Harris will not speak tonight. New Mexico is projecting for Harris, and US officials are still investigating the bomb threats that we discussed a little bit earlier in the programme. So I'm joined again with David Ballard. So, David, would you like to chat to me a wee bit on what I've missed as
Yes.
I've had a little kip?
It has been quite the evening. When you were last here, this map was a lot more empty
Yes.
than what it is currently now.
We'd just taken Texas.
Yes,
So
and that was like I think about 5 hours ago. I don't know. I've lost track of time. It's 6 o'clock in the morning now,
Yes,
which actually
it's
means in a
6
minute
a.m.
Alaska's going to report or close polls, so we'll actually get Alaska in soon, which will be interesting. But basically, we have had obviously a lot of these. It's been predicted now that he's going to win. Georgia has been hard fought. The last couple hours really close, neck and neck, up by 2, but he has held a consistent lead. He's now, I think they've said, what is it, 98.4. Yeah, okay, so he's now more than, so he's definitely won Georgia then, they're saying. Also looking Pennsylvania, so this is the swing state, this is the one he needs to win. He's won Georgia, but in order to win the election, he needs to win 2 of the remaining states. That's all he needs. So if we look at Pennsylvania, that's one he's set to win, 92.4. He is currently lead by 4%. Again, too close to call at the minute, but that will be one to watch as well. We've got Michigan. He 62 again. They're slow counting coming in, so he's still got a lead, but his lead's actually extended now to nearly 6%. Wisconsin as well, we have 86.3. Again, holding a lead as well. Minnesota, they did had it called for Kamala Harris, I believe, not that long ago, and I think they have now since retracted that, possibly. We're actually talking about this with a few of the guys. See the blue and stuff you can see on the screen there up near the top, Minnesota, that was all blue last time. If we look back at the previous, lot of blue.
yes, and now
we're sort of talking
over, especially that
about
major majority in the top of Minnesota.
that switch. And the interesting thing that Jack brought up, the VP, I can't remember his name, of Kamala Harris's VP is from Minnesota.
Ooh.
And seeing a drop and a shift in votes, I think is quite interesting. Obviously, we're talking about, changing opinion. I think that's quite interesting considering he is from his home state, and there was a drop there. This has normally been, if you look back previously, it's been Joe Biden, it's been a blue state its whole life, and now it's a swing state. So that is quite interesting.
We've got a little bit of news in here from our team saying that Trump is expected to arrive soon at the Florida watch party in Palm Beach.
Okay, let's see if we have.
So we can see, hopefully, Trump
Yes.
going to celebrate in a little while soon.
Yes, indeed.
So what remaining states are we waiting to hear from?
So Alaska has just finished polling, so we'll be hearing from them. I don't know what they're projected to. I think, yeah. So Alaska, nothing in yet. So we're waiting to hear anything from Alaska. We're still waiting to hear, obviously, Pennsylvania, Maine, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, and then this is general. Arizona has been quite interesting.
Yes,
it has 52.4, and he's extended his lead. At one point, it was 0.1% of a lead.
Ooh.
He is now 0.7% of a lead, but so small.
And we still have the rest of that part of Arizona to
we
get
do.
through.
Now that will go blue, but this is still to go too. So the other thing is Nevada now. Okay, last time I checked, we had 1.6 in. Glad to see Nevada have put us in some more. And Trump seems to be doing we're only 70% in, but again, that seems to be, he's doing quite well there, 50% and 47, or 51 effectively on 47.5, that's quite a comfortable lead. And if we look back at last year, that was Joe Biden won by 50 to 47, so basically reverse of last year. 2016 as well, Hillary Clinton won Nevada. It's been quite a consistent blue state. Barack Obama won it in 2008 or in 2012. 2008 he also won it, so it has been a blue state for the last few elections, and for it now to be sort of in the middle. I don't know as well if you're aware, we sort of neglected a bit, but we're now back to it. The House and Senate has happened.
Yes.
The first win for the Republicans is they have now won Congress. They gained 2 seats off the Democrats, and they're currently on their way to possibly win the House. They have gained 2 seats and have 192. They need 218 for majority. So it seems like the Republicans, obviously we're talking about like election styles and campaign, whatever they've done, it seems to have worked quite well because they are now sitting very comfortably.
Their strategies have worked quite well,
Well,
that we
it
discussed a
has.
little bit earlier.
Even though we talked about Kamala Harris's about the idea of, maybe that more modern approach, and
Yeah.
I do find it quite interesting that in Minnesota, her vice president's own state, voting dropped there. St. Louis was actually, St. Louis here is where he is from, and it has flipped to be a Donald Trump. And I think that is quite interesting and maybe quite telling of her choice of other party candidates. Maybe we have people airing their opinions on that, but it is, keep refreshing it to see if we have any more, because we are waiting to see Alaska.
And how many points does Trump need to win this?
So Trump currently needs, out of 270, he has, I think he
200.
270 winning. He's 246, so we worked it out. Now that he's got Georgia, Pennsylvania will give him 19. He needs Pennsylvania. He basically needs 2 states.
2 more states. And then
Excluding Alaska. He's going to win Alaska. It's 3, so 2 more states. So if you got Pennsylvania, Michigan, or any of those ones, our predictions by the map that we have, our own team's prediction is, Kamala Harris she's going to win all of this here, including New Jersey. That's very expected. It's the equivalent of the Republicans winning Texas.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
It's a given.
Yeah, it's a given. Obviously, the one Hawaii, I don't even think they've done much counting in Hawaii, possibly. Yeah, it's just, but again, I don't think it's ever not been blue. So without counting, it's I think a lot they actually maybe do it in advance, or I'm not sure. So what was interesting, right, was obviously we were talking about this earlier. So in the ones that would lean Democrat, those 4 I was talking about, again, they're all going Democrat. The competitive at the minute in those swing states, Kamala Harris and the Democrats are only holding one of them at the minute. Minnesota, they have, Trump is ahead in all of them. Now, again, obviously, as I said, it's down the wire, but again, holding that lead. And then, obviously, Texas and Florida, well, I mean, not unexpected, but even there's Congress, that's now up a wee bit more. It has been interesting. I don't know if I talked to you about Polymarket.
No,
So Polymarket is, I thought this was quite interesting because, so it's basically, it's a bit like a polls idea, but it's people bet on it, or not bet, buy like a stock of it, so that you're not just, because the exit polls, sometimes you get people to say anything to sort of throw it off. So interesting, the Senate is now 97 to 2.1, but the presidency, now, I don't know if I talked to you about this earlier, but if we go back in time to...
Did you not say it was on like 40?
So it was originally 48. According to BBC earlier at lunchtime, they had Kamala Harris up by 1%, 48 to 47 to Trump. This was always slightly higher, so if we go up to today, so what are we, the 6th today, all right? So there's the 6th, even today. There's the 6th at, 12 a.m., 58-42 to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hold on, is it just gone? 98.6 to 1.3. People have clearly spoken on this as well.
Like 40% rise there,
that's quite the rise. If this was a stock market, somebody would have done very well today.
Yeah, someone would have been making a lot of money.
They're predicting, this is their prediction. They are predicting that he wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. She takes Minnesota. Nevada, he'll take... Actually, have they declared Nebraska yet? I'm just thinking. Surely they have. Yes, they have. And... hold on, what's this here? I mean... Wait, keyboard. So yeah, you can see, like, again, there's what people are betting on me, and we're talking about it's a done deal,
Yeah.
She's going to win in me, and that's always so... Yeah, I think... Obviously, with this, he will definitely, if he gets this, he will definitely win. I think he'll be nearly over 300 if he gets that.
Yeah.
So, no, it will be...
Is a bit of a landslide victory going on here?
It is. Well,
yeah.
It's a landslide motion. Obviously, we have so far just the Senate win.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even quite telling. I don't know if we saw it was on the news just before actually we came online. Kamala Harris has said that she's not speaking tonight. She's going to. I think it was actually one of her talking points as well.
Yeah, she said she'd speak tomorrow.
Yeah, she said she would speak tomorrow because, well, didn't give a reason, but would speak tomorrow at Address the Nation. Whereas Trump, I think, is on his way at the minute to
Palm Beach, Florida.
To make a speech.
And for an election that we thought was going to be so tooth and nail.
We talked about that all day, and even other elections going into it. Like I like to talk about the 2016 because it was quite a landslide switch. The polls had Hillary Clinton 86% at lunchtime before on election day, and by then Trump won by 56%.
Yeah,
it was nuts, like a crazy switch.
It has been a crazy switch. I felt like I only slept for about 2 hours, and I woke up, and everyone was like, and I was like,
the world's changed.
I was like, good morning, guys.
I know. And the other thing, like obviously, there's even Biden-Trump election was Trump was predicted ahead. It was sort of like dropped a bit, but this has been from the start. Everybody's been like we were talking about that today. There was no talent. All these swing states it'll come down to. It is so close, and it right to the final wires we've got here. It has just got closer and closer to the point now where we're sitting refreshing a page looking for anything really on it to see what if anything's changed. Nothing from Alaska yet.
Alaska has closed their polls.
I think they closed it 10 minutes ago. Again, not expecting much yet, but
hopefully within the next few hours we will know who will be the next president of the United States.
There's on BBC 6:06 this morning. Good morning to our UK readers. Here's what you've missed. Unfortunately, we have not missed anything.
We have actually been up for 24
hours. We have been up. I saw somebody had said you can see all the supporters whenever we're leaving. Kamala Harris had said, we're leaving because it's...
Yes, a lot of Harris supporters have been just leaving the arenas.
I can understand why I'm going. It was 6:45 for us. We're not complaining. Try to sign up all night, but no. So final exit polls. I think we have here. From Sam Hancock, live page editor. Trying to see. No, it was just talking about the final poll so far. We're just waiting for a few others. So yeah, actually reading even what BBC have said here, we were talking about voting patterns. Other states have fallen in the line with historic voting patterns, winning strongholds like California and Trump like Texas. But in other places, it has been like North Carolina, Georgia, 5 battlegrounds still obviously.
Yes, and even Ted Cruz now has managed to get a seat as well.
Yes, which is actually quite impressive. Am I on the wrong thing? I am on the wrong thing. Perfect. Let's see. We're still sitting the same here. Any other talking points to you?
We've not had any new information from our team, but even just so far, why not we chat a wee bit about what we think really worked for Trump in this election so far? What do you think was his strengths within this whole sort of campaign? Obviously, he's announced his campaign back in 2022, whereas Kamala, she only came in after Biden.
Yeah, officially August, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was August. So she had a lot less time. Yeah. But what do you think? Obviously, Trump has had his 2 impeachments.
Yes.
So what do you think drove him that little bit extra at the minute?
Well, I think if we look at everything, and there is a lot, since even if you take it just from when Trump announced his campaign, or even from when he lost the last election, there has been quite a lot. You could write quite a book series on it.
You could write a full novel.
The full Harry Potter series wouldn't even scratch the surface on it. Like, there has been some amount of... obviously, there was the impeachment. There was quite a lot of charges, I think, brought against him. I think was indicted on some of them. In New York, I think, fines and stuff.
Yes, he had bought over casinos, and then his father, they started to go bankrupt, and his father just stopped the bankruptcy, invested, I think it was 3 million, I might be wrong though, but I think it was 3 million he invested, and then the state officials said this was an unfair investment, and it was not proper. It was against guidelines, and he was fined another £66,000, well, actually dollars. So he had many struggles with that and sort of bankruptcy, and that was not just even when he had and he still has Trump Hotels at the beginning, he's still struggling a lot with that.
But I think, as you say, that obviously that all has happened over the last 4 years now. It's been 4 years since the last one of these. But I think obviously we talked about earlier about maybe that coming in late to it. Yes, Kamala Harris was coming in late to it, but maybe that underdog. But I think we might have been wrong in saying that. Well, not wrong, but that maybe hasn't
I
happened as
think
much.
an older generation probably did not respond well, or didn't even see Kamala's
Yes,
online presence. And I
because it
think
was that online presence. It was so much more. It was focused at that, that younger.
I think
Gen
those
Z.
celebrity endorsements
Yes,
were her real selling point and was what a lot of people were focusing on, especially for a younger population when you have the likes of Taylor Swift, Meg Thee Stallion, different things like that going on.
exactly. I think as well, obviously that, and then the stuff that went coming into the election late doesn't help, but it maybe be interesting to see. I wonder, can we see, do you know where the statistics were they'd released at the exit polls? I saw they were up earlier.
Yes, we could have a wee look at those.
Because I'd like to see age and gender, because we were talking about that and how gender and age affects this. But I'd like to see, I can't remember where.
I think maybe what we could also talk a little bit about is what this, if Trump wins this election.
Yes, I think that's very
what
interesting
this
because
could mean for America and sort of
the world.
what's going on, and we could talk a little bit more about his policies and things that he was planning on going forward with.
Yes, definitely.
Whether that would be about immigration, abortion, things like that. So how do you think, even we discussed how Donald Trump would affect internationally. So what are your thoughts sort of on how, if Trump does become the next president of the United States,
Which
what
it
you
is.
think okay.
Look at these. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Technical
So
difficulties. It's not early in the morning
hamster
now.
ourselves from
Yes.
now on, David. What do you think this potential win could look like for not just America but the rest of the world?
Well, I think obviously we did focus a lot on sort of the media and the publicity side of it, but when you actually get down, Trump is at his core a businessman.
Yeah.
And for good or for worse, we saw it in his last term. He runs America like a business, which can be ruthless and not always.
Yes, I think this isn't the first time we've sort of
Yeah.
seen Trump go from very low credibility, because when his bankruptcy first has happened,
Yeah.
back when he very first started his career,
Oh yeah.
he
Like you've seen the clips of him in the 90s and stuff, and
yeah,
like
like
rock-
before
rock
he
bottom.
even sort of started buying over Miss Teen America,
yeah.
things like that, and having like his own show and being on The Apprentice and things like that, he had gotten too low, and someone had written a book and said that he was like the worst.
Oh
It
yeah.
was the biggest embarrassment in politics in the history and things at the time. And to go from that and then build himself up again, getting his TV show, getting involved in things like that, to then running for president, being elected, then the impeachments, to go back down to that very low,
And then
to
to
then
now build back
potentially
up.
winning this
Potentially win
election.
the election. Well, on a whole, even aside from Donald Trump, the Republican Party have had whatever they have done, and what they have done over the last many months has worked. We've already seen that winning Congress, taking 2 seats off the Democrats. They look like they're possibly going to win or do well in the House. I think last we checked, they are up. I think 192 out of, is it 218? I think you need for majority. Yes, 192 out of 218. And then obviously the election itself too is. Apologies.
Yes, we talked a little about. Oh, you're yawning, made me yawn. We talked a little bit about polling intimidation.
Yes.
And sort of people embarrassed to talk about who they were voting for. And I
Yeah.
think this is a very prime example of this, because a lot of us thought that Harris's vote and the Liberal vote would be a lot higher than what it is right now.
Yeah, obviously
we
at
haven't got in the rest of
start
the
of the night,
results
I don't
yet.
know how much I've maybe mentioned this on live and stuff, but talking to you guys off the air. At the start of the night, we were obviously this evening, or not this evening, yesterday evening, should
Yes.
I say, we're very much, this is it's a tight one down the wire. And as the night sort of went on and we started to get the first ones in, obviously Trump takes that early lead. The Republicans always do in that sort of middle band, sort of Texas through to Kansas. They're always going to take that, and it's usually this bit here. You usually get a band coming through here, up through Michigan, stuff that really they always take off strong, and then usually will. That's why like Trump had the popular vote, and I kept saying when we were on, watch, that's going to drop. That vote will drop. You'll see Kamala Harris start to take those ones. But the fact that we are now sitting, obviously it's 20 to 6 in the morning, but we're now sitting with, okay, there is some blue, yeah, but last time this was a blue band here.
Yeah.
That is still undecided, and it's actually looking like Trump could win some of those. Like I think about 1 o'clock when we got our first results, we were all, the general consensus was, I think Kamala Harris is probably going to win this.
Yes, a lot of them started off, we were seeing a lot of votes for Kamala Harris at the beginning.
Yeah, a lot of votes for Trump, then a lot for Harris, and then by about 2 or 3, I think it's only really been the last sort of hour and a half. This is really, it was neck and neck, and then it was when a couple came in, got New Mexico, but a couple others came in. It was like just a big upflux of getting some counting in.
I think especially with these endorsements to people on social media, things like that, it was more expected this time for Harris to have a sort of bigger vote and have more people vote for her.
Yeah.
Compared to, because what is it, 65,540,039 votes currently for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And
versus 60.
for Kamala Harris, it's 60,453,866 votes.
Yeah.
As of right now at 6:19 a.m.
Yes. As early as it is.
As
or
early as it is.
late technically for us.
Yes. But in terms of what we had sort of predicted and what we'd thought, do you think it has any, like, the reason we were thinking it would be so tooth and nail is because people are more reluctant online to say that they were going to be taking that Republican vote tonight?
Yeah, I do feel, even on both sides, you know, maybe it's a stigma, I'm not quite sure, but there seems to be this sort of, you know, obviously, yes, you've, you know, the right to vote for who you want and keep that private, but,
yes,
you know, sort of going online and saying about it, but not really sharing what, or, you know, I feel like, as you said, there was less, maybe more people vocal, or an overemphasis on possibly the Democrats' vote. I will also be interested to see when this election's over, the voter turnout.
yes,
Last time, I actually got it wrong, I meant to say. I had predicted up in the 80s. It was actually only just over 60 is a good US election. It was quite low last time. Which is why then there was arguments over, well, there's always arguments over voter fraud, but there was, you know, question about that. It was quite a low turnout. So I think, personally, I think a lot of people maybe saw, like we were talking about, you know, this underdog coming in going, everybody's voting for. And then actually, the other thing we were talking about, which, again, it's sort of a bit of a speculation, but when we look at, this is interesting, what other candidates, this is what we're talking about. So if we take, for example, the likes of, I believe, Kansas, yes. So Robert Kennedy ran as an independent in the US. And like, if you notice, if there's a state, where's one of the ones that were close? I was showing, we were talking about this earlier. What's this one that, no, Kansas, for example. Kansas wasn't close. He took 15,000 votes off the Democrat. Because the thing is, you know, if you don't want to vote Trump in that area, you maybe would then think of vote Kamala Harris.
yes, Robert Kennedy and these extra sort of.
Well, he officially pulled out of the race about 2 hours after counting started.
Oh.
And was sitting in where Donald Trump was watching the election results with him.
Right.
So we sort of it was a bit of a tactical thing, because, you know, because the thing is, I think with Donald Trump, you're not necessarily voting for the Republican Party. A lot of people, because Trump is who Trump is, you're voting for Trump, and you may like the Republicans, but may really not like Trump. So our sort of thinking behind why that maybe was just because maybe then people go, oh, I'll vote the opposite one.
Yeah.
But then if you have a third one, you go, because obviously the whole idea is you don't spoil your ballot, you just still do vote.
Yeah, you're
Whereas
going in for a middle ground
here.
here.
For Democrats, but I'm definitely not voting for Trump. Well, I'll vote for this guy, and then he pulls out, and now it wasn't enough to close that gap, but it would have taken, you know, we'd be looking at 43%.
Yeah.
Not a good example in Kansas, obviously, but other states where this was done.
Completely missed that.
Yeah, no, it only really noticed as states have started to finish up getting their final counts in. We've noticed it. The likes of, I believe, Oklahoma took 1% off the Democrats. Again, Oklahoma was a done deal. Utah, wasn't Wyoming, I believe, too. Wyoming, Chase Oliver. But where is, Key. We saw down the bottom. There's another example in Senate race, you know, state by state. Where's the, it's when you zoom in.
I think even with Robert Kennedy, because of even that Kennedy name, many people would have thought, oh,
Yeah,
because JFK did such an incredible job when he was in office in
Yes.
terms of international politics, which is
Oh,
something
yeah.
that a lot of people are sort of focusing on again.
that I think.
With Russia
Obviously,
and
I
Ukraine.
talked earlier to some of the other guys about immigration being a big issue and
Yeah.
the sort of striping of illegal immigration with illegal goods, and we sort of talked about how when you actually think about it and talk about it, it doesn't make sense to do it. We sort of broke that down, had a good chat about that, but I feel like probably one of the biggest issues is international relations. You know, we are in quite a fragile world at the minute. You know, we have obviously the ongoing conflict in Eastern Europe with
Mhm.
Russia and Ukraine. We have heightened tensions in the Middle East too that have a lot of countries involved, and also the ongoing issues with China and Taiwan. So I think having a good international, you know, somebody who can talk and sit down and have chats with other people and get stuff sorted is very important, and it's probably been in the forefront of most people's mind. I'll try and find. I saw as well earlier there was exit polls of what people were voting based on. I don't know if you saw clips of that. I believe it was not results. U.S. election. Oh, I've just noticed here coming in on the, because obviously there was lots of things being voted on
Mhm.
today. So Florida were voting to restore abortion rights, but had to meet a 60% pass.
Yes, the ballot initiative would have allowed abortion until the point of fetal viability, or about 24 weeks, but had to meet a threshold of 60% support in order to pass. Florida was one of 10 states this election where voters were asked to weigh in on abortion right measures. The state level fights come 2 years after a US Supreme Court ruling that struck down the national right to abortion, prompting many states to introduce bans or severe restrictions on the practice. With 95% of the votes reported, the Florida amendment was projected to win the support with 57% of voters, according to Reuters. Campaigners in Florida have promoted the amendment as a way of overriding the law that came into force earlier this year, which banned abortion after the 6th week of pregnancy with limited expectations.
Oh, hold on. We've just had some stuff in here. If I just cut back to BBC's thing, some interesting reports from online. Let me just cut back
Yes, we've got some headlines saying that Trump
Yes.
is now leading 3 of the Rust Belt swing states.
He is predicted to now win Pennsylvania. Fox News is claiming, which if we actually click onto,
The last polls have now also closed, and Trump is leading in Nevada with 30% of the vote to go.
it's in Nevada. Right. Well, let's have a wee look at Fox News actually then and
Yeah,
see if we
let's have
can
a wee
bring that
nosy
up.
on Fox News and see what they have to say about this.
US
Because
the number
that
one.
is quite, to have these Rust Belt swing states as well, like
Yeah.
that'll be detrimental to the victory here. They're saying
So
that
according to this, they have him. How do I
they have
hide this
Trump at
bar?
267.
They have him
and-
winning everything. They don't have Alaska now. If he, according to this, I'm just realizing, doing maths here, if he wins Pennsylvania and then gets his Alaska, he's won. And he's predicted Alaska, hands down, because he always goes for. Can Harris still do it if for some reason he doesn't win a single other one? Is it possible?
It says here that Harris is on 216.
So if you take, that would make it 26, 36, 40,
Doing some quick
51.
maths here.
If she wins all remaining states, she can do it, but only if she wins all remaining.
Does that include Alaska?
No, it doesn't include Alaska.
Right.
Everything bar Alaska. But if she doesn't win Alaska, Trump wins.
So
hold
Missouri,
on.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona.
Let's actually take a look on here as well as the Senate. So yeah, they've obviously won the Senate. What's the House looking like? It's close again. But back to the President. So yeah, it's predicted that. Are we any other updates on here about that? No. So he's now leading. Let's have a look at there on Nevada. What they're saying. Here's their Nevada results. This could be the final state form. 47.5 Harris, 51% Trump, with 75%. Another 350,000 votes remaining, so it could go either way. Very close. It's good the way they actually show you that too. Let's see, President. Looking to see if we have anything else. So last polls of us, as you said, now closed. Polls have closed in Alaska too. So yeah, I think pop over back to BBC and see if they have now. They're agreeing with Fox.
Is it there?
They are not yet. What was the other one we were using? Bus election. That was it there.
We've got some. These ones have got their sort of lead already on them. We've got no white states left anymore.
Yes, they now predict Trump to win everything bar Minnesota and Maine and the other wee small ones.
Where it is.
And Trump currently. Okay, the popular vote is looking quite interesting. That's something so we're going to talk about. It was we even talked about this earlier, that we were pretty sure we knew, Kamala was winning the popular vote. It tends to be, Democrats tend to be the popular vote. But again, I believe last time Joe won the popular vote by, I think, about 15%. So do you think that the fact that that's now lower, that's now, obviously it's low, but even though it's going to be close either way, that that shows that, voters are changing how they're voting? And
yeah, I think it's very telling that Kamala is sitting on 13 states out of the 50 states in America.
Yeah, it definitely is.
In her favour. And I mean, the American people have spoken this
Oh,
evening.
they definitely has. This has been a great show of democracy, I think.
Yes, I think this has been unbelievable. It's not at all what I had expected. I thought it would be much more tooth and nail. I thought we'd be sat here
until
and it would be like a majority.
Because obviously our live stream ends at 9, where we're going,
Yeah, we were like, should we push back to 10?
We have a state in at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas
compared to past years, the polling system this year has been
very fast actually.
Yes, although obviously there was flooding and things in Missouri, and different people couldn't get to different polling stations and things, but in terms of this year counting ballots, and it's been very, very efficient and very, very quick, which is what DK, who was on earlier, who he was discussing that was something he was really hoping for.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just realising, I believe Alaska has now, according to Fox News, have reported in some. Just see if I can go back to Fox
Have
News.
we got any more in Missouri as well?
Actually,
because Missouri had many problems with flooding and different people getting to polling stations as well. Missouri's up near the top.
It is, I believe, this was Minnesota. Missouri there, isn't it? No, it's Alaska. That's Montana. Whoops. Oh no.
Just the wee Nevada election result.
There's Missouri.
Missouri.
Michigan, I think.
It's saying that Trump's got 2 million votes there.
Yes.
Harris has only got 1,759,000 at the minute in Missouri.
Oh, is it right? That's what I clicked.
But I think
Arizona, they have it at, that is tight, 50%. There's not even 70% in that. 0.7%. What are we looking at? What's Nevada having it at? 75%, and Trump ahead by nearly 4%. Obviously that he is ahead by, again, small amount. Looking at Wisconsin, again, also ahead, 87% in. He is 4% ahead. And then Minnesota, they have Harris ahead in Minnesota. Okay, this is quite interesting then.
Yes, so Harris could win over Minnesota.
And what does this mean? That close call?
I think even if we just think of how far America has come.
Oh yeah,
from its very beginning creation
to now,
and I think America have always held that value of 4th of July they go all out every year, and even since obviously it was the British raising taxes and then the Boston Tea Party and things like that that shaped America, and they formed their own constitution and they fought back, and they really worked heavily with France at the time.
Yes.
Because France wanted to have another revolution themselves. And I think that was the time for revolutions. And to see just how much it has grown to now, and to go even from the Federalists to Republicans, Democrats, and having all of this.
Just noticing as well there, Democrats are making gains back in the House now. 3 flipped. Now to 160 from 157, I believe. Senate, I think this is Senate over, or are they still voting on it? I think it's over.
What does it mean, the two flipped seats or something on the Republicans?
So 2 flip means they flipped, that's the -2, so they took 2 Democrat seats.
Oh, right, okay.
And held their 38. And then
So it says that Trump's at 51 needed to win, and on Fox News Democracy 24 it says that Trump
What are
has
they
the 51 for that one state. The last one we were on. But we're
Oh, hold on.
still waiting to see
where
that we
was
won.
that came through?
51 needed to win
Where am I reading that? Oh, that's for
for Senate race results.
Yes. And then just check if nothing else been put through here yet. Trump predicted to win Pennsylvania. Well, that's what.
So Trump is projected to win Pennsylvania, due to Fox News reports, but it is still too close to a call, according to CNN and BBC. So
Yeah.
it's very much we are at.
Oh, hold on.
Oh?
Harris has just taken. What has she just taken? What state have they? She just jumped to 226. What's BBC saying about this?
Yes, 226. This is
BBC are very behind. They have it at 187. Unless they're maybe not calling as early as Fox. Maybe Fox are going.
maybe Fox are putting more of a prediction in than BBC.
Well, where's
this
the other one
time.
I had on? Not Fox. Get rid of that one. This one. Let's see what they have it in at.
They still have Kamala at 214 and Trump at
too as
247.
well.
I think we are going to be keeping on refreshing.
Yes, frantically. House, they're
Frantically.
gaining in the US House as well. The Democrats here, 163 now, closing in on that 187. Trying to see, go back to Fox and see if we can get any context on what they have said she's taken. According to this, they reckon she's taken Minnesota.
And that is according to Fox News
Wait, hold on. Oh, that's not the code I clicked on. Whoops.
with Kamala with 50.61% of that state.
So I want to see if there's any advances on that.
We'll
Fox News
see
calls
news.
Minnesota for Kamala Harris. I want to see if BBC have an advance on that there, or if our other one. No, so I think Fox News are possibly
A little bit ahead of themselves in the game
Yes.
right now.
well. They're
Um,
calling for that.
I feel like it's also just a fight with news and broadcast right now to see who can get the election
Yeah.
results out first and who can say what's happening. But we can only tell with time with these things like
Exactly.
this.
In
I am very
another-
surprised. I didn't think we'd have this definite of a.
No, like people were predicting Saturday and stuff before we had results
Yes.
after recounts. Now, if it was to finish up right now, Trump was winning the rest. I don't think Kamala Harris would have any grounds for a recount because you'd be talking like, well, already they're literally 5 million votes of a difference. It's not a down to the final, which again we were even going it would be down to the final, but it's not a landslide right now. But there's a big difference. There's 5 million votes. There's
Yeah.
3 times the population here. So I
Which
think
is insane to think about already.
yeah, and obviously I don't think the president is officially declared until all of the appeals and all that. I think it's January 5th or 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th, it'll be officially declared. Going just back to seeing if BBC have decided to update.
In the media.
on
I thought
Fox.
that people also would have taken Donald Trump this year's age into account a lot more.
Yes.
The fact that Donald Trump is 78 years old.
However, having said that,
Um,
Biden was nearly 80. Or
That
is
is
he
very
was
true.
83 or 2, I think.
83, I think.
83. So
Um,
maybe that didn't have as much of an
Biden
impact.
has a lot better health, though, compared to Trump as well.
Yeah.
Trump, even, I remember, I don't know, have you ever seen the Try Guys?
Yes, I've seen some episodes, not the one with Trump, but I have seen some of them.
Keith, one of the Try Guys, did a day eating Donald Trump's diet.
It's not great.
It was unbelievable,
Oh.
to say the very least. But a lot of people, I read an article saying that people were thinking that was going to come into play and they were thinking about the health of Donald Trump himself. But I do think these celebrity endorsements have been just... They made Kamala's campaign seem stronger from the very beginning.
Yes.
The fact that she got that, 10 million endorsement overnight
Yeah.
when she first took on the role, and the fact that it kept on rising, and these sort of rallies felt more like concerts and they felt more like a big social gathering, especially online and with our younger
Oh, yeah.
generation.
I think maybe that is possibly
That I think gave some people a false sense of hope as well.
yeah, and thought maybe this is too new for me, or
I think some people might have thought, well, this is very like a publicity stunt.
yeah,
We don't know exactly what she is planning on doing.
yeah.
Whereas Trump, there also could be a familiarity with Trump,
Yes,
where he's already
you do
been in
already know that.
office.
Whether you like it or not, you know what he is in that
Yeah,
sense.
and you know the way he sort of has handled situations in the past. You know his team. You're familiar with different things that he's done. And even sure, Trump's vice president in this campaign used to speak against him,
Yeah,
and now he's had a complete 360 and running
which
for
again
vice president.
just shows how that's
It shows that people, I think people, again, it shows how people have drastically changed their mind on Trump, but also some people also suggested that it was for own personal gain, but alleged.
yeah.
We're not saying anything. It's all
Yeah.
allegations here.
Nope.
Do you want to get ourselves done for anything?
Just think we'll have a wee look at CNN
We'll go back
as well.
to CNN, yes, and see
I haven't
what.
checked in on them in a while. See how they're doing.
Yes, election night in America, CNN.
Except also this is the. So they have it similar to BBC. I think Fox News maybe a little bit trigger happy on.
I think Fox News is trying to
Get ahead of the curve.
full speed ahead of this.
Yes, definitely. Go away ads, please.
A wee bit.
Play that. So they have a state map 02. Now they have predicted. We don't have this from BBC. This is the only one I've seen predicted. They are predicting Trump. Well, Trump, I'm pretty sure has already won Pennsylvania.
Yep.
They predict he'll win Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Nevada, and Harris will take Maine. And then undecided with what's going to happen with Alaska, by the looks of it. But
I
if
think
Trump
with
wins
Alaska,
one of
yeah.
those remaining states, as well as Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or if he just gets Alaska as well. What could be interesting if in the situation whereby he wins Pennsylvania and wins Alaska, and Harris wins the rest of the states, they would both be over 170.
I think that Harris has already announced that she will not be speaking until tomorrow.
Yes, which would suggest
It's very telling of
it's maybe not going
what
as
the result is
well.
going to be this evening.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people, we've seen masses and masses of people just leaving the rallies at the moment.
yes.
In
It's
America,
sort of a mass exodus.
that there's just a lot of people sort of, I think we know what's going to be happening with these results.
Yeah, I think it's still, like we said, though, which keeps us on our toes. It has come down to the wire again.
Yes, and we still have the electoral college, don't we?
These what gets you your 270.
Yes.
What is happening to this? It didn't like that I refreshed it that many times by the look of it. Oh, it's back. So yeah, it's looking just these 5 states now. It's
I think just how quickly things have changed.
like, I think from memory last year or last time I was in school at that point, but it was 2-3 days after they were still counting.
Yeah, I
And it was like they
remember
were
it
releasing a state every
was-
couple of days. Georgia didn't get through until I think like the Thursday or Friday, like a really long period of time.
Yeah, I think I had woken up. I remember the last section. I'd woken up and I'd walked downstairs and I'd asked my dad. And at that point, there was a bit of a majority for Biden, but it was more of a sort of
Perfect.
with like it was. We had an idea. We thought it was, but we weren't fully sure.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I think we are pretty much fully sure on this.
Yeah, I
On
think
this wee one, I think we have an idea.
again,
of
though,
what it's
having
gonna
said that, they haven't, like, this is the prediction BBC are making. CNN are predicting. They're the ones predicting. CNN have decided they're going to give a go at predicting what's going to happen, which again,
I think between CNN, Fox News, and BBC,
we have Fox
they are
News.
predicting very, very similar outcomes.
Fox News like to get in there first before anybody else, and I think haven't we a wee look at Polymarket and see how that has gone up or not. Okay, I think that is a I wonder where
very
the other
telling.
percentage
We've got on Polymarket that Trump has won, how much is it? 98.3%.
It's 98.3% probability.
And
they have him
Kamala,
winning everything as it stands. Yeah, he wins those two and takes those two as well. And Alaska.
And Kamala would have 0.8%.
Chance of winning. And the popular vote winner is now 99 to 1. Keep in mind, Harris was up at lunchtime yesterday at 67%. And that is the swing we've had from people.
1%.
And that's again, that's
within a matter of hours, the way this has changed.
That's a probability that people have predicted. Predicted key winners. Okay. Any other states? Let's see if they're predicting.
It's not been not that it's been a victory yet, but it's not been a complete landslide.
Oh no, it hasn't.
By any means.
By no means, whether or not Kamala ends up losing, because she's still in this race. It's not over at all. Like, it's still. She does have to win 3 or 4 states, but it still could. And with the tightness, if you look at Nevada, it's just 2% behind. She's less than 1% behind. She's only 4% behind that one, and she's 4 in that one. It's not out of, considering here they've only reported 66. Here, okay, 87, but they're 77 and 51. And Alaska, we've only reported 25%. Trump does have a lead there. We did expect that. I think once we get in, we may be able to actually call this election over once we get an idea on Alaska, I think, because that will add him up to his 270. Possibly. Oh, we'd need to wait to see one win, one more to confirm that Kamala can't get enough to win that before we could call that. But let's just check our friends Fox News again and see what they are.
Our friends over at Fox News, we're just going to have a wee chat with them and
see what's going on over there.
See what's going on in there.
Actually, I'm interested to take another wee look at the house and see how that has changed. Okay. No, there seems to be sitting the same. So I think nothing more than a minute. I think we're probably going to take a wee break for 5 minutes.
Is there any more? Just check our headlines one last time. No, that is it. Next we will be joined by Arvin Fagan, and she will talk to us a little bit more. But within the next 15 minutes, we'll keep track of what the election results will be, and we might actually have a winner.
Yes.
Next time we see you.
New, or the new president of the United States of America. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in 5 to 10 minutes, but if there is a winner, we will be back on very quickly. So don't go anywhere. Go make yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Probably the 20th time I've said this tonight. I'm not going to see it, but we're back shortly after
a very short break.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you indeed. welcome back to the Queen's Radio live coverage of the US election 2024. So, back a little bit earlier than anticipated, we have had a little bit of an interesting development in the last sort of 5 minutes, I suppose. Actually, before I go into that, introduce yourself to the show.
I'm Arwen Fagan. I'm a broadcast production student, so I'm just here so David can help all of us understand a bit more about what's going on in the election right now, because I need to know.
Yeah, so again, Fox have been getting a bit excited about this each time. They have, originally they predicted they said, according to them, nobody else has confirmed this yet, they believe that Minnesota is going to be won by Kamala Harris, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania will be won. So at the minute they have Trump winning the election at 277. However, when you go to BBC, they have exactly the same 194 and 246, and they have CNN, I believe, as well. We were on. Also have at 187. They have it slightly low, actually, I think. I didn't notice that. What if they? Oh, they haven't given her one of these states. So I'm sort of wondering.
It's quite a big claim from Fox.
It is
those quite big swing states as well.
Apparently, they did this in the 2020 election, whereby they claimed Biden had won Arizona, and it wasn't confirmed for like 6 hours. They do this. They try to get first to it, and it's not true necessarily. But that's why we were talking about earlier about don't just go to one source. Even mainstream media like Fox News, who are a massive news company, can sometimes get a bit excited, a little bit overzealous, shall we say, about maybe what's going on exactly. So Senate obviously is now confirmed. The Republicans have now taken the Senate. They flipped 2 from the Democrats. The House as well, interesting with that, I haven't seen that in a wee while. So Republicans are now 188, need 218, and Democrats have made gains. I think they've gained about 5 or 6 actually in the last while, but again, all big areas still to report in, so we will not know for quite a while probably on that one.
And could you tell us like the importance of these House race results, and especially the Senate one, because we know that the Republicans have won that?
So overall, looking at it and analysing it, I think whether or not even Trump does end up winning, the Republicans have had a great, obviously a really good election campaign. Whatever they've done, it has worked, it has clicked. They have got those numbers up. We were also talking to Fiona a few minutes ago, and I think the other thing is that we're talking about the comparison of voting, and saying who you're voting for, and I think there was maybe an overemphasis on how many people were voting Democrat, and I thought everybody's voting for, and those Trump supporters have come out and been a lot more, they've really wanted their voice to be heard, and voted, and it's shown with obviously typically Democrats are the ones who win the popular vote. It's not the Republicans who'd win it, and at the minute we have Trump on 67 million, Kamala Harris on 61. That was predicted her to be 2-1 like it was with Hillary Clinton, who really outshone Donald Trump in 2016, but didn't win. It got the popular vote but didn't win. But the fact that that's down. The other thing I was talking about as well, which is quite interesting, is in actually not use. Oh, what is this update they have? Oh, that's Senate. Hold on. Where was it now? Yes, here it is. Is they have in Minnesota, when you zoom in, so this area up here, it is blue, but this area here, Kamala Harris's VP is from Minnesota, and they have, although they are winning Minnesota, and it's predicted, I think it's pretty well predicted they're going to win. If you look compared to the minute they're at 1.3, if we go back to this 1.7, they have lost 400,000 votes,
right?
And I think that maybe a reflection of the choice of VP, that being his home state.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that that's how people have chosen to vote there. Maybe telling you, like we were talking earlier, obviously about elections and campaigns, and it's sort of been issues around it. And I think, look, obviously earlier we were talking about it being really close to call, and then the general consensus amongst all of us about, what was it, I would say about sort of 2-3 in the morning was, I think Harris is going to do this, although Trump had those early votes that weren't picking up, we're thinking, there's a lot of conversion, but I think as these other votes have come in that would be blue states, they've not converted to the blue states they were predicting.
Yeah. And there's like you're saying, there's a lot of numbers about the place, and every news article
everybody
is
has a
telling
different answer.
So for people who've maybe just woken up Do you think you could give like a little brief?
Yes, of what we
where are
definitely...
we at right now?
Yes,
I
so
guess.
what we definitely know is there is definitely confirmed 100%. For example, Florida has 97.9% done, which is a less than 2% or less than 3% left to count.
Yep.
Trump has a 9% lead, so it's physically impossible for Harris to win that state. So the likes of there, most of those states, it's really... So I'm pretty sure it is confirmed. Yes, Trump has now, it's confirmed he has won Georgia, the swing state, because there's only 1% left to go and there's 2% like margin.
Okay.
It's also confirmed that, let's see, I think California is not confirmed actually. Neither's Washington. Hold on, I thought they were. Neither's Colorado. New Mexico, we can confirm. 99% votes counted, 51 to 46. So Harris is definitely one there. New York as well. You know, that's clear cut that they've won. Virginia as well, 95, but big lead there. Yeah. Illinois as well. You know, you can call that. That's far enough. Same as the likes of Kansas, Texas, you know, your typical red-blue states. You can call that. You could have called that from the start. Hawaii hasn't even had any votes in, and we can already... It's not going to be Democrat. It's going to be Democrat. Alaska, I would say, is the same for Donald Trump. It's a very safe bet. They're always the same. I don't think looking back, they've changed. At the minute, they're predicting... When I say predicting, they're predicting Trump will win Pennsylvania. He is currently ahead by 1.1% with 94% counted. So I can see merit to that. In Michigan, he is... Oh, he's actually quite leading Michigan. Same as Wisconsin. Minnesota, Harris has the lead of about 3%. Where is the other two as well? Just two. Arizona, with only half counted, he's up by 1.1%. And in Nevada, 73%, he is up 4% actually. So the prediction is he will win this. He's up, but again, they're not 100% counts.
Yep.
And it's very close. So they are the most swingiest states ever,
Yes.
and could change at literally a moment's notice. Actually, as we saw earlier happen.
Yes, because I think on the news, especially right now, Kamala's went home.
Yes, it's
Trump's
not
getting
looking
ready
great.
for
Yes.
the speech, and it's all people are very sure. Do you think, with all these swing states still kind of in the air, is it for certain, or?
I mean, we have seen stuff in previous years happen last minute that completely swung it. And when it's so close, if we take, there's even, not Philadelphia, it's even Philadelphia, 92% of the votes are in Philadelphia. That's New York, I've clicked on, isn't it? Yep, that is New York. Let's even take...
Too many states.
Yes, there's too many states. There's Wisconsin, so it is key race. There is... Or that doesn't show me the percentage of votes in. I need one percentage of votes. Arizona, does that give me? Yeah, so Arizona, 53% of votes in, and that's quite a low one. But if I go to Nevada, there's part one. 93% of votes are in Nevada.
Okay.
Trump is up 53 to 46, so he's 99 ahead. And yes, it may only be 7%, but that 7% could be all Kamala Harris votes, and switch that. So to say that he has won Nevada right now is not a fair representation. Same thing goes for Pennsylvania. You know, he's still 5% of the votes to win. He's only ahead by 180,000, and by... Okay, it's 3%, but again, you know, that comes down to very little. If we go over to Michigan, Michigan has 73% of votes in. He's only ahead by 5%. Same as Wisconsin as well. You know, they only have they've still 8% to go, and he is only ahead by 4%. It's small leads. A couple thousand votes could change it. It's happened before. So I really do think a lot of those swing states, until we get, okay, they have just updated. I believe Trump has been... That wasn't Fox I was on, was it? No, this is CNN. They are now saying...
According to CNN, Trump's now gone up to 265 electoral votes for president.
Are calling... I believe, hold on.
We're just waiting to confirm.
What he has won and gone up, or just ignore Fox News, honestly, at this point. Sorry, guys, at Fox News, you're claiming all sorts of wacky stuff.
You've fallen asleep and you've just come here in the morning. It seems like a lot has changed.
Yes.
It didn't really get off to a great start for Kamala in the beginning anyway.
It was a very slow start, and then it's only really been in the last, I say, hour, it's now 7:05 in the morning. if anybody did manage to do this the whole time, hats off to you, because I am struggling. But no, it's been sort of 265. Okay, BBC have now confirmed he's up 265. 5 votes to win. What is it? He's won. Are they saying? What state are they going with? I'm not seeing any changes. Are you seeing anything? They'll update
Not
it, but
quite yet.
but he has obviously got enough to get the.
Maybe we can hopefully be told soon by people in the
Yes.
studio which
Yes, that would be
state
great.
has won.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh,
Pennsylvania.
which means
Well, Pennsylvania still only has 20% of votes counted, so that's still quite up in the air.
sorry, hold on. I just clicked on one of the wee state bits. Let me just click all of Pennsylvania. They have I clicked on one of
There's
the
a
town.
lot of maps out there.
They have 95% counted total. across the country.
95%, and Trump is
Up
in the
to
lead with.
It's 3%.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's actually probably fair to call Pennsylvania on that.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Vania. Oh, I'm done. Arizona, Nevada. Trying to see if there's anything else that's close.
Pennsylvania was really quite important because out of all the swing states, it has the most electoral college votes of
Yes.
19.
Yeah.
So they were both really trying for that one.
Well, that puts him straight from the two, being in the 240s to now literally 5 votes off winning this election.
Yeah.
All he needs is anything bar Alaska, because Alaska wouldn't give him enough, and only give him 3 more.
Okay.
But any state now on the play, bar Alaska, will win it for him. And Alaska's already pretty much guaranteed, same as the
Okay.
way Hawaii was. So if we take, there was one I looked up, Wisconsin, 92%. He's up 4% there.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get up to 96%, he's won that state.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan as well, what's 73 actually. But those 2 states there, this is probably not long to the end of this election, actually, at this rate.
Yes.
Obviously, there will be, for many days, there will be recounts, there will be all that sort of stuff.
And postal votes are including those later
Yes.
on as well. That's what I was wondering for, people like me, all these maps out there and the color codes that
Yes.
this is, who's won here and stuff. Is that, does it stay that accurate? Because elections in America do go on for quite a while.
The postal votes are in the, I think, hundreds of thousands, and the fact that they
Okay.
both have over... Actually, let me fact check myself. How many US postal votes?
So it's been quite intense. I'm sure for everybody in America who's went to those rallies to support the watch parties. There's some left feeling very disappointed and some very, very excited. And honestly, it still could go either way. A lot of Kamala's supporters are saying they're not losing hope yet.
Yeah, well, definitely not. Like I said, it's some people write this off, like maybe Fox News are doing. Actually, let's see what they're doing now. What are they claiming? Oh, they haven't changed. But no, it's definitely not writing off at all. How many Americans have already voted in the 2022 election?
And we're not trying to insult Fox News. It's just good to make clear that even big news companies
Can be
have
not even. It's not that they're being misleading. It's just they're maybe calling it without saying that we've predicted this. We haven't proven this. When you've got, the likes of CNN, obviously BBC, waiting that bit longer. I think it was about 10 minutes ago now. They said they'd win Pennsylvania, and only now has BBC and CNN confirmed that he's won Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it's good to just take that extra moment and just to be sure, which means if it follows trend, we could see the next announcement being a Harris announcement from Minnesota.
Yes.
If we follow Fox, it may just be a bit early on it, or just say it a bit early and, hope pays off. But it would be interesting to see. I expect that then soon, I would say. And I wonder any update in the House as well. No, it doesn't seem to be.
Earlier today, Harris's campaign chair O'Malley Dillon said that we've been saying for weeks this race might not be called tonight, and says it's exactly what they're prepared for. They're away home now, so hopefully they do still feel prepared, or it has gone the way they think it's going. But I would say there's been a lot of unexpected state votes,
Yes, there definitely has. Even looking, AP still haven't called Pennsylvania yet, according to this.
Okay.
But I would expect that soon if BBC are now claiming that. I would expect that to come in fairly soon.
Yes. This also kind of highlights the importance of fact checking,
Yes,
especially with social media.
Yes,
Everyone
like,
can
these
post
are-
anything.
This is CNN, Fox, AP. Like, these are big, like, worldwide news agencies,
Yeah.
and you know that's not 100% at the time of writing. Correct that, since it's a bit early. So
Yeah.
just
Like,
do your research.
we can all be waiting really eagerly, like, when are they going to announce? But better to announce with
right one.
the truth
Yes.
than, the wrong one as well.
Well, it saves another Capitol Hill if it's as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We particularly want that again. But no, it appears. Let's see. We're still sitting. I'm just waiting. I think that now the distance between those two was Pennsylvania at 19 and 33. So it's probably going to be another 10 or 15 minutes before they call Minnesota, if that's true. I'm sort of going through all of the news stations now and just rewinding.
Have we heard, does anybody know yet when Trump may?
No, so that's
Give a
actually something
speech.
we can speak about, which is quite interesting. Let me just unlock my MacBook and be sure there is nothing else coming through. So no, he was supposed to be. Oh, I think they've now predicted Alaska. Hold on, I think I just saw CNN do it, so give it a second. BBC will follow probably. Again, it wouldn't put him ahead to 270, I don't think, but just keep refreshing a few times. Just saw CNN had done that. So we'll just go over to Fox and see what they're saying.
If you're like me and didn't know that much about the US election before this one, it is a very much longer process than UK elections. There's a lot more people in states.
And it's a lot more confusing.
And a lot more confusing, yes. So we will try and keep you updated as it comes in. If you're looking for yourself, it's just very important maybe to use factual websites, BBC, CNN, rather than Twitter or Instagram.
Truth
you know.
Social.
Yeah. But yes, at the start of this, if you tuned in at nighttime and then fell asleep, which we all probably wanted
Quite
to.
interesting wake up too.
Yeah. It was very much too early to call a lot of the states back then. But people in America were still getting excited and stuff. A lot of states stayed similar to what they were before. And then a lot of states swung.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we've seen even now. Pennsylvania, all the remaining states bar Alaska are all swing states. So it's really anybody's game at the minute in that sense. It's, because people, obviously, yes, Trump is currently ahead, but by no means is this, like I said, this race over. It's really getting started in that sense. This is the race now. So no, like by no means is it anywhere near being over. It's certainly not. Just seeing, we have some news from CNN edition there.
Also, if you hadn't tuned in overnight, Kamala won California, which was very important because it has the largest number of electoral college votes out of all the states, 54, and they have just under a 39 million population. So no wonder in just one of the states that it takes so long to get this voting process over, because that is a large number for just one state compared to over here. But it was very pivotal that Kamala won that. Though back earlier in the night, she did say it was very likely she would speak tonight regardless of outcome. That has since changed. She's not going to be speaking tonight. And Trump supporters, a lot of them have been driving to Florida in anticipation of a successful speech from Trump. So it's all very exciting.
It very much is. Let's see if we've any more. Let's see anything else on the docket. And let's see, president, any.
there was a lot of comparisons between Harris's run compared to Biden's. She was significantly down in places like Philadelphia compared to Biden in 2020. Nobody has had a firm answer as to why. Maybe it was the campaign or the stances they chose to support. But there definitely in some states was quite a large shift between who supported Democrats in 2020 and who supported them this year.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just seeing here. I'm trying to make sense of it because I've got 3 different answers here, and they're very different answers. So I'm just trying to see which one is the right way. But BBC are saying no change. Where is? Why does Bing do this? Why Bing? Oh, here we go.
And if you're also just joining, it's also important to know that if this is your first time watching a presidential US election, that there are 7 key swing states in America that are different because nobody really knows which way they're going to go until it happens, whereas a lot of the other states, you can kind of already know if they're going to be Republican or Democratic. So it's usually that these swing states are what affect the outcome. So it has been very, very close and intense looking at these, which is why we were so focused on Nevada and Arizona, because these are generally, they're the last ones to be counted as well.
I've just had it in from our team there that Trump was going to speak soon.
Okay.
And also the Senate race has now been officially called by the House of the Senate. So
Okay.
that is now, we'll actually just go to that and give you that now. But yeah, so Congress, there we go, Congress. So yeah, no, Congress has now been 2024 elections. This is from CNN. Senate has now been called at 51 to 41. So yeah, the Republicans have won the Senate now officially. Still on that note, 3 flipped to the Republicans, 191 to 165 in the House. And President Trump is currently at 266 according to CNN, Harris at 188. And just to get another sort of source on that, we have BBC are saying 265, so one of them got an extra 1 from somewhere.
And what does them winning the majority in the Senate mean?
From my understanding, is President is like in charge of everything, and then Senate is to do with Congress and the House as well. So it's like a bit like Lords and like standard politicians in the UK, I think.
Okay.
So if you have a Republican president but Democratic Congress, it's hard for you to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
If you have everything, you can pass whatever you want. It's a straight win. You basically, you are the only government.
Okay.
BBC have now updated to 266. I will add, and seeing, what do they have Alaska in at? So they have Alaska as 55 to 41 with 56% in for Trump.
Okay.
And just give.
And is it possible for a party to win House, Senate, and President and have a majority all across the board?
Recently. It can be done 100%. It hasn't been done any time recently.
Does it look likely that it may?
I mean, if we take a look at these 3 here this is obviously from, I mean, Trump is currently 4 votes away from being president. He's won the Senate and they are on the up in the House.
Yeah.
So it is, it is very much doable. It's whether or not it will be done, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We will have to wait and see how that actually plays out. But I'm just going to.
And if you've also just joined this your first time among the election process, a lot of the votes and the countings were delayed because a lot of places had to stay open because of bomb threats, which really plagued the election this year. They're still under investigation. Russia clapped back at claims that they were from them, saying that it was malicious to even insinuate that.
Never happened.
But yes, it does seem that everybody is safe, but that it was maybe used as fear mongering. People would then be a bit apprehensive of going to vote because there was a bomb threat. So especially the Democrats were worried about the outcome of that as well.
Waiting to see if we have any more news coming in at all. I'm not seeing. Trump is due to speak soon.
They've been setting up the stage for Trump for a very long time.
Yes,
They've been very excited.
Once I get a readout here, I'm going to try and get a.
It's very likely Trump can go up and just announce his victory on his own behalf.
Or without it.
With or without it. He has done it before. This time, I think it won't be as premature as before.
That's not what I meant to start up.
It won't be as prematurely as before. It does seem that if he does say this in his speech, that there would definitely be some backing to it, especially with the Senate win, and with 4 votes away from the presidential win as well.
Just had in from BBC here live one of the things at 6:14.
Okay.
That was over an hour ago. Trump attacks Harris during his final speech of the campaign. This is the 5th of November. This was yesterday. Hold on. Why did it do that? Hold on. Give me a second.
It's a very arduous process finding all these.
Why are you going to the bottom? Stop doing that.
But
we have. Oh, what the?
We may actually.
It's broke. This is going very far back. Let's go to page 1. Ah, that's better. Moving behind the curtain on Trump's center stage. That was now. It's just been posted by Iona Hampson, I believe.
Okay, he's coming out very soon then, hopefully.
Pennsylvania win. Okay, BBC have now confirmed that as well from Trump, Florida.
Okay.
Trump takes swing state prize. Okay. Seeing if anything else. Pennsylvania projected swing. Yeah. This is how far back are we going now? 6. Yeah, this is before. Democrats are feeling depressed. If you want, you guys can go to BBC and watch that. It's when it won 16. So yeah, we're just waiting now for these last few states to pull in, really, and we'll see. Alaska have now 56% in. Minnesota has still not been called. Oh, they're only 82, I suppose. But again, there's the competitive. There's those swing states we're talking about, and that's the proof of it.
Yep.
Democrats have claimed one of them. Minnesota, they're holding at the minute by a small margin. Republicans, okay, it's sometimes less than 1% margin, but they are holding, all of them bar one, and that shows that what they have done this election has worked. A lot of these are nearly called now too. So I would say, actually considering, hold on 1 second.
I think we're getting a little bit of notes in there.
Yes.
Some live updates for everybody.
Difference, just a bit of context here. The difference between BBC of 1 and they are now the same, I believe. They are both were CNN. They have now rectified themselves, haven't they? They're both getting the same results. Yeah, 266. They did say it was because of split college voting, but that seems to have rectified itself now, and they have the same numbers. So
yeah, you may find on different websites it's different numbers, but not by too much. And hopefully after a wee while, everything should refresh.
If you see half points, I would suggest you leave the website because you can't get half Collins Road. I don't. They split into 3 groups, I'm being told. All right. Let's see. What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, no, I am thinking just until Trump decides to arrive on stage, it might be beneficial if we go to a little bit of headlines or just take a little break and wait for him to come out, just so you guys can get your breakfast or whatever.
Yes, because it is now time for breakfast.
And maybe Trump will have arrived by the time we're back on air. So we'll leave you to that and we'll be back soon.
Good morning and welcome to our final update here from our QRTV live stream broadcast of the presidential election. We're just going to give you some final news before we go off air this morning. So, as you may well have seen now on your TVs, we can announce, and Trump has gone ahead and announced that he has won the presidential election. Now, that is not confirmed yet. We have to make very, very clear he's currently sitting 4 electoral college votes below what he needs to win the election. However, due to the predicted states, it is very likely that he will win, as these are leaning very heavily towards him currently. So we're anticipating within the next hour being able to see the full results and that clearly being indicated as the result of the election. However, Trump has gone ahead and spoken on stage in a speech thanking his supporters and his very large team and his family on stage as well, alongside his new Vice President, J.D. Vance, as they are going to take steps forward into being then inaugurated in January if, as predicted, they win the election here in the next day or two. Kamala is currently sitting a fair number of electoral college votes behind him at 218 to 266. However, she is her electoral college votes are still rising as more results come in. However, it is looking very, very likely now that at 266 out of a required 270 electoral college votes, that Trump will win this election and the Republicans will win this election. Now, an interesting thing to note with that is that currently, in terms of Congress, Senate now has 51 Republican seats, so it is now a Republican Senate, and as well, we're looking currently at a House of Representatives that is also likely to be Republican, with current voting figures at 199 for Republican and 169 for Democrat, so a 30-seat difference there. Now, to have the majority in the House of Representatives, it needs to be a 218-seat majority, so we're not quite there yet, and we still have another 19 seats if the Republicans want to also take the House of Representatives. But if that is the case, and they do manage to do that, that will mean that they have control of the House of Representatives, they have control of the Senate, and then they have the presidential election and the president as well being Republican, and that would be sort of referred to as a clean sweep, and they've swept across the board and are in power in all 3 aspects. Now, we're still a fair way off from the Senate races and the House race being confirmed officially. However, that is sort of from the early stages what we are looking at. Just finally, as we wrap up, I want to say thank you from the whole team here at QRTV. Over the last 24 hours, it's been a very, very big roller coaster. I think there was one point where we all thought that Kamala was potentially going to do it, and the polls were looking that way, but it appears that Donald Trump has been able to swing some of those key swing states to his advantage, and it looks very, very likely at 68,294,819 votes, currently 51.1% of the vote, that he will go on to win the US presidential election of 2024. So yes, from me, Matthew, thank you very much, and from the rest of the team, thank you very much, and goodbye for now.